Hey, what's going on?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks
Good.
for uh
It's good.
thanks for joining me again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so excited. I have literally been I've been going over these lists. It's hard
I know.
to make a top five, but I think I'm confident in my list.
I was going to do the top 10 of the decade, but that
Okay.
I couldn't do
Oh
that at
wow.
all. Like like it couldn't have.
The-
So I was like, I'm gonna do a year because I did last year. I did the year last year. And I was like, well, 2020,
Okay.
I had one of my good YouTube friends on here that plays video games, and we're both big video
Yeah.
game players, and we did games of the decade, and that was so hard. And we talked for like
Yeah.
3 hours. Just well, we don't know what we can do here because we have to do that. So I was like, let's just do the year. Well, microphone fell off.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, we love that.
yeah, it's crazy how because 2020 is just a year, and music hasn't really been out this year.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was. There were a lot of songs that I was like, that I had thought of, and then I went and looked them up, and it was like, oh, 2019, and I was like, why did this not? Why was this released in 2019? And I feel like I just heard about it like this summer of 2020.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There were some albums like that as well that were like 2019. I didn't listen to until 2020, and I'm like, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, I know. Man, it's hard, but and it's also hard for me to compare genres too
mhm.
like because I'm a songwriter, and
Yeah.
so I have a hard time with that because like if I, you know what I mean, like
Hmm.
I don't know. It's
No,
just
I
hard to compare
I get
vocals,
it. I get it.
melody, writing.
I get it.
Yeah.
But before we start, I have a bone to pick with you, Brooke.
Oh, okay.
You told me to get the book where the crawdads sing, right? Where the
Yes.
crawdads lay, fart, poop, whatever it's called.
Did you get it?
I didn't pick it up. Someone picked it up for me. I was busy. I was like, hey, I need you to pick this book up. They said I would like it. It is a
Okay.
freaking chick flick book.
No, it's not.
The cover of the book and the flap says, handsome and most good looking, charming man, Charlie. And I'm like, there is no way I'm reading this. There is no way.
Okay. It is not about, okay, there's like a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of like a relationship thing, but it's like later in the book.
Okay.
And it's like, but the thing is like it goes in and out, right? Like the book, like the way
Mm-hmm.
the book, have you read it at all? Or you just were like, no, I'm not going to read this.
I read maybe the first chapter.
Okay, so in my defense, I have had three guy friends that
Okay.
I told them to read this book, and they all three were like, this book is so good, I finished it in a day.
Okay. All right.
And like just it really is not it's not a chick book, I swear. It's more about, it's like mystery. And to set up the end of the book, you have to know about everybody's like relationships to one another. It's kind of like so you can figure out
Mm.
who did what and what happened.
Okay.
And the
I'll,
way that it's written is so poetic that it's just, it blows your mind. Like you're just,
yeah.
I didn't even catch on right away because it was just so brilliantly written. And then I had to go back at the end because I was like, what? She was like, you know what I mean? Like hints were dropped along the way and you just have no idea.
I'll pick it back up and
Okay.
I'll try to finish it.
Okay.
Okay. Just
I'm
want
going
to
to
let
hold
you
you to
know
that.
that it was a chick flick book when I picked it up. I was like, oh my God, I'm reading like the notebook,
No. Oh my gosh. No, 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 no.
which
Not at
was a
all.
terrible
Not
movie,
at
by
all.
the way.
It's, I disagree.
Okay.
However, it is literally like a thrilling book. Like I would agree that the beginning of the book maybe could have been better, but it's like also you need all of that information to get to the end. So, but the end's worth it. Like the second half of the book is so thrilling that I feel like you're not going to be able to put it down because everyone that I've spoken to about it has not been able to put it down.
Okay. I would trust you on this, but if there's like a sex scene that's weird in it, then gonna come to you on that. So
I don't think so. I genuinely I don't think
because
that there was.
someone told me to read The Fault in the Sky, Fault in Our Stars. They told me to
Oh, Fault in
read.
Our Stars.
They
That's
told me to.
sad.
They told me to read that, and like it was a good book, but like halfway through there was this weird sex scene in the book, and I'm like, I don't want to read that. You know what I mean? I don't want to
Yeah.
see that. It's nuts. But
Yeah, that's when you just skip a few pages.
yeah.
Just try to ignore that it was even there.
You
Like, I
know,
understand what happened. It's fine.
we were talking last time, which was what, a couple, maybe last week before, and we were talking
Yeah.
about how coffee was probably just a mental state of our minds. And
Yeah.
I started reading this book right here, and it's called The Tipping Point from Malcolm Gladwell. And he talks in the book about that, how the coffee is a mental state of mind, where it's like you don't need coffee. And it was like, well, didn't we just have this conversation? And then he goes into
Yeah.
how, you go about your day and you forget about being tired. But once you either
Yeah.
see the word yawn, hear somebody yawn, or see someone yawn, your mind automatically snaps a finger and is like, oh, I have to yawn because I forgot I'm tired. And it was like,
Oh,
whoa, it's fascinating. It really is.
that is fascinating. When I was in college, I remember we were in the library studying and someone was going around doing a study about that where they would we just read on a piece of paper about yawning, and then it was we had to circle whether or not we yawned at the
Yeah.
end of this study or whatever they were doing. I think it was a psychology study or something, but yeah, crazy.
Yeah, he mentions in the book, he says yawn like 12 times. And he's like, I bet you yawned at least twice because your brain
Right.
didn't stimulate it the first time. But once you see it the second time, third time, fourth time, and repetitive, you're going to automatically yawn. And I'm just like, if I had the smartness that this Malcolm Gladwell guy had, I would be set for life.
Right. I've been trying to stop myself from yawning for the past minute. So
Hey,
every
it's
single
cool.
time you say yawn, I'm like,
We're not professional here. You've realized that. So go ahead, yawn, cough, whatever.
I'm not tired though. I'm fine.
I know. It was a late night for me. It was late night for me last night. We had to record a couple of somebody came to me last night. They were like, "Hey, I want to do the podcast, but I only have 12:30 at night." And I'm like, "Well, what do I do in this
Whoa.
situation?" Because it was the guy from Have you ever seen A Christmas Story?
Yeah.
You know the bully that the guy with the glasses
Yeah.
beats up him. I had him on last night. He was like, I only have 12:30 at night. So went to 2:00 in the morning. I go to bed, have to get up at 6, take my sister to high school, come there, do this, and I'm just like, I am just in this mental state of don't fall asleep. Let's keep this interesting because if I fall asleep, it's going to be the end of my podcasting career.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That sounds so intense. But good that you're getting all
Yeah.
this stuff done. However, sleep is also very important.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
so do you
Your
have any
sister's still going to school?
Yeah, she's in high school.
Like
Sister
in
is
person?
Yes. They have to
Okay.
wear mask all the time. They have to stay 6 feet apart. It's weird because they have her going from my mom works, so I always have to pick her up. So I'm just trying to keep all these times in my head without writing them down. It's like Tuesdays and
Right.
Thursdays, I know are her long days, so I know I can schedule a later podcast. And then Monday through Wednesday or something like that is her short day. So it's can't get anything done on those days. But Yeah,
Okay.
they're still going, and I mean, I think it's
Wow.
gonna be I think it's gonna be closed down pretty soon because sadly, our mayor of here, Wiggins, just passed away from COVID-19. Yeah,
Oh
we
my
were.
gosh, I'm so sorry.
It was I wasn't good friends with him, but my dad was, and I remember when they said he had corona, and I was like, because here, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but here where I'm at in rural Mississippi, everybody's like, screw mask. We need to be free. Stupid stuff like that. And I remember he was coming on there, was going to fight the governor, and was like, we don't need to wear a mask. You understand me? We don't need to wear masks. And he didn't wear a mask, went to his office, caught corona, went home, gave it to his wife. She got better. He thought he was getting better. So he went to work and he got worse and he died like 2-3 days ago. And I remember the post that she put from his bedside. She was like, look, we said a lot of bad things about this COVID. We were stupid. She said, but I'm telling you, you have to, this is not a, just the air quote flu. This is legit. Don't know what this is. Can't fix it. And I think now finally we're going to get this under control here. I'm hoping this is going to open people's minds up just
Yeah.
just a little bit, you know.
It's so strange to me because I'm going home, in like less than a week to Minnesota,
Okay.
and everything is shut down there. Like when
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to my parents and like my siblings, like when I say everything is shut down except grocery stores and like the doctor, right? Like hospitals and clinics. And I guess gas stations probably, but otherwise, all restaurants, all bars, all gyms, like pretty much all the schools, like everything is closed. Like my brother's been doing online learning since probably the middle of November.
Mm.
So yeah, and they're thinking that it's probably going to be extended into March of
Yeah.
next year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the change of the presidency come next year, and see how, if there's any like mandates put in place or whatever.
You know,
I don't know.
I don't like getting very presidential on the podcast or anything like that, but I did take a stand and voted for Biden just because of what has been happening. And he had more, in my opinion, had more of a strict basis. We're going to do this, 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 and this instead of, this isn't real. The government is playing with
Right.
our minds. And it was just that fact. And
Yep.
I remember, look, let me tell you, I made this funny joke. Like I love stand-up comedy and I write jokes. And I
Yeah.
had this joke on Facebook. And it was killing on Facebook. The joke was, I want to put colored lights outside my house for Christmas, but I'm scared the police are going to come and choke them.
Oh my god.
That was the whole joke, and it was killing, man. It was murdering. My very, very, very Republican uncle, who thinks everything should be banned, everything should be Republican, came,
Mm.
turned me into Facebook. Do you know I got a strike for that joke? And if I get 2 more strikes, I'll be kicked off Facebook permanently.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was like, what in the people post porn on Facebook and get less of a hassle because it was a racial joke. No, it was called dark comedy, you dummy.
Yeah, it's been a tough year. It's like man, I don't even know. It's hard because I feel like I don't even know what to say or what to do in so many situations, but I don't know. This year I feel like there's so many things that have been like shifting, and I think it's just like, I don't know. I guess it's just important for us to listen and be as like open-minded as possible. I think that that's like one of the biggest lessons of the year is just like being open-minded, especially around like the virus, because there's been people who haven't been open-minded, and I mean the virus is a virus. Like I went to school for
Yeah.
medicine and I just have no patience to like say, like, you can't say that a virus isn't a virus because it is, and it exists, and it doesn't care if you believe in it or not. It will still, it's still going to affect everyone. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not.
Yeah, and it's nuts because when you say that, this book, this Malcolm Gladwell book, he talks about that, like the rise of AIDS and how everyone was
Yeah.
like, AIDS is fake, and then this guy got AIDS and was upset that he got AIDS, so he went on sleeping with every woman that he could and gave all of them AIDS to show, hey, AIDS is
Oh,
real. Yeah, and I'm like, but yeah, a virus. Come, I mean, yeah, but I'm hoping people say by February the virus is going to mysteriously disappear because you got rid of Trump, and I'm like, so viruses can do that. You are in the cell of a virus, so you know exactly what's going to happen at the exact moment. You know, it is. I think it's going to dissipate smaller because of the what's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be a full lockdown of the United States, but I think there's going to be a whole heck of a lot more rules in place because the vaccine's
yeah.
what, months from being away, and people are like, I'm not getting the COVID vaccine because they're going to put a chip in you. And I'm like, you have a phone, you have a social security number, you have a laptop, you have everything in the world, a TV, and you're worried about a vaccine putting a chip. Come on, man.
Right.
I mean,
They've actually already they already have the vaccine up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, which is where some of my friends are in medical school, and healthcare workers are like getting the vaccine first. So
yeah.
I think some of my, like, I'm pretty sure like it's mandatory for them to get this vaccine since they are working around people with COVID, because up in the Midwest, COVID's like so bad right now. Like our
Mm-hmm.
hospitals are full. And um so I'm interested to see what happens. Like I don't really know what to think of this. I don't know what to think like of the vaccine, as far as, I don't think there's going to be a chip in you, but um normally vaccines take like years to
Yeah.
get approved, and so I think it's just like, but also we're in a pandemic. So
And that's the thing. It's kind of like the flu pandemic back in like 1918 when like 50 million people died, and you have a flu shot, and you don't hear people complain about getting a flu shot, getting the chicken pox shot. And it's amazing to me that we now are in the age where we see this new vaccine of this new illness that has taken over the world. That is the most
yeah,
amazing thing, because it's like I could tell my 1-year-old nephew, hey, when you were one, you weren't allowed to go nowhere because you were going to get sick.
yeah, it's
I I
yeah,
was I was against getting the vaccine at first because how fast they were talking about putting it out. But then now
yeah,
that they went back and they're like, look, it's not going to be out till like March or April. I'm like, okay, maybe I will get the first round of it if possible, But
yeah. Yeah. I
it's
feel like I still have so much research to do on it too. And I feel
mm,
like I'm going to talk to like a bunch of my friends who are in medical school about it too, and just get their opinion. I think that's important, to get their opinion versus mine, since I'm not, in school or in the medical field anymore. So,
you're gonna get their opinion. You say is that
yeah.
kind of how Minnesota stop? Opinion.
What?
I
Opinion?
said opinion. Is you said that kind of weird. Is that how up there
That's
talk?
so funny. You're the second person that's told me that I say that weird.
Opinion, yeah, opinion. But well,
Opinion.
I mean, I guess if you're like one of those people that enunciate every word exactly how it's spelt.
It's like I pick and choose. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I don't
All right,
know.
all right.
Strange.
Well, let's go ahead and get this.
All
So I
right.
came to you and I was like, let's do albums of the year. And then I thought about it. I was like, well,
Yeah.
there's some jams that are out now. Let's do songs of the year as
Oh,
well. So I have
yes.
a bunch of honorable mentions from songs. So
Oh my gosh, I do
I
too.
have a lot. Like I didn't even I'm so OCD and anxiety ridden that all my things have to be numbered in a list. And so I'll go through and I'll write down my albums. And then I'll go and I'll tally. This is one, this is two.
Yes, I literally did the same
But
thing.
on songs, I just listed a bunch of songs and I couldn't name them. So I'm sitting there like, which one am I gonna pick first? So
Oh,
I'm gonna leave this up to you. Do you want to start with songs of the year or album of the year?
I feel like we should do album and then do song because I feel like album is more all encompassing and I feel like some of the songs of the year are going to be coming from those albums. So
Okay.
I
All
feel
right.
like that makes sense to me, but I don't know, whatever you think.
No, that works. Let's do album.
Okay.
Let's let's go back and forth. So I'm gonna start with number 5. You can start with whatever number you want to, but I go in descending order because I think one is the biggest album. That's just how I do
Yeah.
it.
Yes, me too. Me too.
Okay, so you want to go first? Or you want me to start it off?
You go first.
Okay. I had a hard time with this album list. So number 5 is Wonder from Shawn Mendes.
Oh.
Man, I love Shawn Mendes. I'm not one of those that's gonna fangirl out about Shawn Mendes, but I have enjoyed Shawn Mendes since he first came out, and this new album shows a more maturity side of Shawn Mendes. Because I didn't think his last album was that good. Because I can judge on how good an album is if I keep a number of songs. Because you're not gonna like every song on an album, and that's just what
Right.
I. You're not gonna keep every song on an album, so yeah. I Wonder. I mean, come on. Then he released that documentary on Netflix to go with the album. Man,
Yeah.
it's Wonder is just fantastic.
It's so interesting because I feel like my list is like obviously we're all a little bit biased because we
Yep.
all prefer certain types of music over others. So like I'm super interested to like hear the rest of your list because I feel like this is going to get me listening to maybe newer music.
Okay.
Like pop music I listen to on the radio, but I feel
Right.
like I don't ever go and listen to the albums.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. I'm the same way. I'm more of a country person just because that's how I grew up. And so that's going
Yeah.
to be, if I'm looking at pre-orders of albums, I'm going to go to country first. That's just how I am. And
Right.
I listen to pop on the radio, but there are certain pop artists like Ed Sheeran or Shawn Mendes that I will listen to a full album in order. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, that's my only pop album so far that I've had on here, but go ahead with yours.
Okay.
Let's see where
Okay,
we
so
land.
Okay, so number 5 for me, which, okay, this was very hard because
Yeah.
I feel like so many of these honestly tie for me because I love everyone so much, but I ended up doing this order, so I'm just gonna stick with it.
Okay.
Number 5, I have Never Will, Ashley McBride. I
Okay.
think Ashley McBride came out guns blazing this year.
Sure.
I mean, geez, One Night Standards and Martha Divine. I mean, come on with it, Ashley McBride. Like, oh my gosh. And just like I remember hearing Martha Divine for the first time because a friend had sent it to me and she was like, this like will mess you up. And she was so right. Like it was kind of like a little Miranda Lambert vibe, except it was Ashley McBride and I was here for it. And she's just she's I don't know, she's such a confident woman and I love that comes across in her music and I love the stories that she tells on this album. Even there's a song called Shut Up Sheila and it's
Okay.
just like it's so interesting the writing behind it. Like she's such a brilliant mind and I think for this album it was kind of like the rock side of like the production for me as well as like the storytelling writing on pretty much every song on this. I mean it's just it's a brilliant record I think and I thought she did such a good job with it.
I haven't listened to much Ashley McBride besides what comes on the radio. But I do think she does have this badass side of her that a lot of country artists are either afraid to have or don't
Yeah.
have. And I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah. And her play on words is just insane. Like in Martha Divine, it's like, honor thy mother, honor thy father, but the Bible never says a damn thing about your daddy's lover. Like, what? I remember hearing that line and I literally just stopped everything I was doing and I was like, oh, okay, mic drop.
Mhm. Yeah.
Good.
Let's see. Man, this is hard because I'm sitting here thinking this one could have been moved down to the bottom, like as I do this, because I know once we get off here, I'm going to be like, I'm so stupid because this album should have been at this. Anyway, I'm gonna go with my list. I'm not gonna change it. I'm gonna go with A Rock from Hardy.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew of Hardy because of Florida Georgia Line, right? I knew that he was
Okay.
signed to their record label or something like that. And then he had that rednecker and some along those lines. And I was like, because once you see new people, you're like, he's gonna have one run and it's gonna be done, you know. And so that's how I go with every new artist coming around. Just don't get too attached because he's gonna be gone here pretty soon.
Sure.
But Hardy came out with One Beer, and I remember I was like, wow, I was shocked about how that song was. Everything changed from just one beer. And then I like how he goes, you know, kind of like the old kid rhyme, Kissing. And I was like, well, that's an interesting concept. And so A Rock came out, and I was like, I didn't listen to it right away. I gave it maybe 2 weeks. And I was like, you know, I'm going to check it out. I have nothing to listen to now, nothing new. So I'm going to listen to it. And oh my goodness, it starts with a banger, ends with a banger. Man, I have 3 songs from that album that make my song of the year. That album to me is fantastic. There is only one song on that album that I don't like, and that shows a lot for albums for me.
Which one?
Hey, just 1 second. Let's see here. It is Where You At.
Okay.
I didn't really like that one that much. It just had a different vibe for me. I was like, eh. But he's also a Mississippi boy, so you got to support the Mississippi people. So
I love me some Hardy.
I love Hardy, man. He's probably my new favorite. Well, one of my new favorites to rise is going to be because I think it's going to be soon. He's going to be as big as Morgan Wallen or as big as Luke Combs. So
I honestly I hope so because I
Me
think
too.
Hardy's the best writer in Nashville right now.
I mean, we talked about how he wrote God's Country. Come on. I mean,
Hardy has my heart. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So my number 4 for me, I'm not saying that I think this is like everybody. I feel like my list changes on a daily basis, so it's fine. But these 5 are probably just like all within the top 5 for me all year. But number 4, starting over, Chris Stapleton. This could have been higher, and I think some days it is higher for me.
okay.
But I thought Chris Stapleton did such a good job with this record. We talked about that on the last podcast too. I think for me, the only reason that I have other albums above this is because I find myself maybe seeking out the other albums maybe a little bit more than this, but this is also fairly new, right?
Sure.
So
yeah.
And I think that probably has an effect in like I feel like I just need to sit with this for longer too. And it will probably I love Chris Stapleton. Like he is one of my favorites. But this is an insane record. I mean, the Whiskey Sunrise I think is like my favorite on that record. Just the writing behind it is insane. And like we were talking about last time too, Chris Stapleton's voice just moves you in a different way. And I thought he just killed every single song on this record. And I really liked Maggie's song. It's hard to like listen to this record without getting super emotional. I
Yeah.
feel like these songs are really emotional on this record. But I love the authenticity of the songs, right? Like just the truth in these songs, like the hard truth, like speak it, because people are living this. And I mean, Devil Always Made Me Think Twice, like, come on with it.
Yeah. I'm not going to say nothing about Chris Stapleton right now because he's going to come up on my list. So I'm just going to keep it for me, right? I'm just going to keep it because we're going to continue the conversation.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly where it is on your list by the way that your face reacted when I said it was my number 4.
4, I was like, oh, God. Okay. So my next 3, I couldn't pick any more albums. So what I did was I went into my listening history, and these 3 are the 3 that popped up most listened to, and they are in order that way. So number 3 is Sunday Drive from Brett Eldredge. I mean, let me tell you something. My favorite artist of all time is John Mayer. And I think Brett Eldredge hit this John Mayer type vibe on this album because I love slow songs. I love sad songs that make me feel. If an album does not have a slow ballad, it's a terrible album. I know that's bad to think, but that's just how I'll skip through. I'm like, okay, which songs are sad because I'm going to listen to that first. Every time. But man, that Sunday Drive from Brett Eldredge, every song on there is great, and every song on there will make you tear up, even the fun upbeat songs.
I need to go and listen to that. I feel like I've heard a few songs off of it, but I haven't sat down and like listened to the full record.
Yeah. I remember he was talking, the song Sunday Drive, he heard it. He was working as a receptionist, I think. And he heard the song and was like, whoa, I'm going to record that someday. And like years later, it finally fit an album he was doing. And Sunday Drive. Yeah, just Sunday Drive. That's all I'm going to say. Sunday Drive. That it should be called 100%, but it's called Sunday Drive. So.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to that because I'm interested.
It's great. It really is.
Well, that's awesome. I love Brett Eldredge. I've seen him play a few times live, and he's fantastic.
And his Christmas album. I'm not much for Christmas music, but I could listen to some Brett Eldredge Christmas.
I love seeing what people do with Christmas songs. I have some honorable mentions, Christmas music edition, because I needed to get it in there. Okay. So number 3 for me, this is number 3 for me because of how much I have listened to it. But I think like, as far as like we talked about, Chris Stapleton's album just came out. Yeah. So that's why these were hard for me to actually put in order. But as far as listening goes, I have listened to this album so much within the last few months because this one is also like sort of new. But it's Folklore by Taylor Swift. Okay. And now let me preface this by saying I'm not like a big like Swiftie fan, but I admire Taylor Swift so much as a businesswoman, as a songwriter, as an entertainer. I think she's such an inspiration. I mean, I grew up with Taylor Swift, and she, of course, along with Carrie Underwood and Miranda Lambert, like she was such a big part of what I saw as country music when I was young. And I just thought that she went above, and she always goes above and beyond. And I think she's one of the most brilliant songwriters ever. And I don't think that this is her best writing that she's ever done. I don't think that this is her best album she's ever done. But it's on my list because I think that I feel in my gut, and like when I'm listening to this album, I feel like Taylor Swift finally found her vocal niche in this album and in this style of writing. And I was like, wow, this feels so good coming from her. Okay. because I feel like we've never heard this laid back Taylor Swift before, and I'm here for it. Like I absolutely, this is, I think, my favorite like sound, I guess, from her. Not my favorite writing, but my favorite sound from her. Um, but saying that, Taylor Swift has set so many standards as far as writing goes and brilliance goes, and I think sometimes her brilliance even just kind of like goes right over my head because she just writes such clever lyrics. But I mean, there's a few songs that I could go without, obviously, as there sometimes are on albums, but just there's just a lot of amazing songs on here, and I think my favorite songs on the album are like not traditionally like maybe everyone else's favorite songs. Like there's a song about, it's called Illicit Affairs, and like I love that song. Or like Mad Woman, she talks about like what is, like you, like a man created the mad woman, right? Like what a shame she went mad, you know. And it's just like I feel like she's like sticking up for herself as a woman or whatever, and how maybe men say, oh, well, she was crazy or da 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 da, and she's like, well, what was your part in like playing, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I thought that the album was really well pieced together. It was probably my favorite sound from her. So yeah.
Is Folklore, is that the one she just put out or the one she put out a couple months ago?
A couple months ago.
Okay.
I haven't listened to the full Evermore yet. But so far what I've heard of Evermore, I don't like it as much as I like Folklore. So I feel like Evermore should have probably maybe been released before Folklore, and then I would have liked Evermore better. And I've been talking to my friends about that too. Like, I mean, Taylor Swift will never put anything out that I'm just gonna like veto. I'm gonna listen to everything she puts out because I just think she's brilliant. And but I think Folklore's stronger.
I used to have this beef with Taylor Swift for a while because she got country music and then she left, went to pop. And I remember before I got into the podcast and understood just exactly how the business worked, it was kind of, she's disrespectful, so she doesn't need to be listened to at all. But as I've progressed and as I've matured and learned, she did a great thing for country music because people that enjoy her pop stuff are going to go back and listen to the old Taylor Swift, which was country.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be like, oh, I enjoy that sound. Related artists are Carrie Underwood, Miranda Lambert, Kelsey Ballerini, etc. And so now I have this different vast respect, even though I don't really listen to Taylor Swift a lot. But I mean, she had Bon Iver on the album, so I'm guessing that's a win for that. I mean,
Exile's insane. I listened to it over and over again. It's
Bon
so good.
Bon Iver is one of those underrated bands for me, in my opinion. But
Taylor Swift knows talent. Like, I think she genuinely knows talent, and I'm so glad that she included that. And she just knows what should be pieced together where, and who needs to fit on what. And she just, yeah, I don't know, she just does such a good job creating music that I'm here for it all. She can just keep it coming.
You're gonna be. I think you're gonna be shocked by my next one because
Okay.
it doesn't fit in this realm of albums at all. Like, and
Okay.
it's Eminem's "Music to Be Murdered By."
Oh,
I am such an Eminem. I'm not a hip hop fan per se. There are certain artists of hip hop genre or rap that I will listen to every time they put something
yeah,
out. And Eminem is
yeah.
one of those, and he is the one that turned me on to hip hop. And so Music to Be Murdered By is not his best album, but I do think he went back to the Slim Shady style of rapping. He left the pop crap that he was trying to do with Revival and then the stuff he tried to bring in for Kamikaze. He mixed it together for Music to Be Murdered By. It absolutely murdered the music in the album. I just, like, he has this song Stepdad, and it's about how his stepdad used to beat him. and he didn't do nothing about it. And in his imagination, he took an aluminum bat and just beat the out of him, and it killed him in
Yeah.
his dream. And I'm just like, there's only one person that can do this, and it's the guy that
Yeah.
rhymed orange with boring, and that's Eminem.
Right.
But
Oh my gosh. I need to go listen to that. I love Eminem. I just feel like I don't ever seek out, like I said earlier, like I don't really seek out albums that aren't country really.
yeah, and a lot of people hate on Eminem because he considered the GOAT of hip hop, which I don't listen to it. I don't listen to hip hop enough to have and voice my opinion. So I'm just going off
Yeah.
of, he is my favorite of all time in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think this album was overlooked in 2020 because it was a surprise album. It was just like Friday, hey, here's a new album, and you're like, oh my, you're freaking out. You're like, Eminem's got a new album out. Let's see what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit, and then it was like looked up. I think, in my honest opinion, it was looked down upon because of that. And the Kamikaze last year was a bigger album because of it. But I just think this album is better than the one he just put out, or the one he put out last year. But it's weird because he does it in like two different acts. Like, it's like act one is this type of sound, act two is this type of sound. And I enjoy the second act more than the first act. But
Okay.
I'm just an Eminem fan.
Yeah.
It's just, I know that does not fit. It's probably shocking. That does not fit any of these albums or songs that I have.
But I don't think it needs to fit. Like that's why it's so like that's why it's albums of the year, and like what it's going to be different for you than it is for me,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why I think it's cool to be doing this and to be like sharing what we think, because now I have music that I'm going to go listen to for the rest of today and the rest of the week. Because
for me it was, I was raised on just country music because when I was growing up, my household was everything else besides country and gospel is devil music. Like that's just how it was portrayed, because you can't listen to Aerosmith because they supposedly talk about the demon inside of you without listening to the lyrics. They just hear the song, and it was the same thing with everything like 3-6 Mafia. I remember when they came out, my mom was freaking out. They have 666 in their name. You're not to listen to that. And I just remember I was going over to my cousin's and sneaking listening to music with her. And she taught me a lot about, there's more music out there than just country. Like, she brought me into cleaning out my closet from Eminem. She brought me into like the punk rock side of Good Charlotte and Nickelback.
Yeah.
And it was, and that's ultimately what changed me was, okay, I'm going to listen to country, but I'm going to change my roots here. And I'm going to go, it's just, because I would find it boring for a lot of people that don't listen to country music for us to have all country albums on one list.
Right. And like, and it's probably not going to be like that,
Yeah.
As we have seen for both of us. Like, I don't know. I like that we can take into account other genres, but I just like, I create music. So it's hard for me to be listening to every single new album that comes out,
Yeah.
But I love this. Like, I love this so much because now I get to go listen to music that I maybe wouldn't have searched for.
Me too.
So, okay. So my number two is an album that I have probably listened to the most this year. However, it has also been out longer, I believe, than the rest of the albums on my list. It's number 2 only because my number 1 album is just like tops everything. However, this one is the most listened to for me, and that's why I have it as number 2. But it's Nightfall by Little Big Town.
Ooh. Oh man, that one is good. I forgot about that one.
This was my quarantine record. that I listen to. I feel like I remember hearing someone tell me, "Hey, Brooke, you really need to listen to the new Little Big Town record. I think you'd really like it." I don't really know that I've ever listened to a full Little Big Town
Me
record,
either.
and I
Me
like
either.
Little Big Town. I don't have any. I just never listened to their records
Hmm.
full all the way through. And so this was when, you know, when everything shut down in March, like I started running again, and so I'd listen to people's records when I was on my runs. Like this one blew me away. It blew me away. I almost every single. I don't even know that I would throw any of these songs away, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
And that is why I was so impressed. Every single song takes you somewhere new, which I absolutely love. I thought that production was absolutely perfect on this record. Um, I thought the combination of songs and just how it was constructed was so brilliant. And also just like the title Nightfall and the way that you feel when you listen to it, and the way I feel like they really highlighted a more soulful kind, almost like a little bit like blues approach
Hmm.
to this record. And I think that this is so perfect from them. Like they did such a good job. I mean, Wine, Beer, and Whiskey, brilliant song. I love it. The horn section in it, like just insane. um Forever and a Night is one of the most beautiful romantic songs I've ever heard. Like it's just gorgeous. Sugarcoat is
Hmm.
so it's like I mean, it's devastating, and it's beautiful. And yeah, I'm so impressed with this record. I listen to it in my car straight through. And there's very
Yeah.
few albums I feel like for me that I can just listen to straight through.
You know, Little Big Town is that for me. I didn't listen to every album because every song that they put out besides Girl Crush has just been like a quote unquote summer jam. And
Yes.
then, so I listened to one before Nightfall, and they had a bunch of ballads on there. And I was like, oh, I enjoyed this. And so then
Yeah.
when Nightfall came out, I was just flipping through. And yeah, Sugarcoat was just, whoa. It was just,
Well,
I think and it's just like I think I will listen to every Little Big Town album that comes afterwards just because of the
because
progression that they can do. Because I enjoy hearing Philip and all the others sing besides just Karen Fairchild. You know, which no,
yes.
not to me. Karen Fairchild's a great singer; she could sing. But I
Yeah.
enjoy hearing each other. Like, okay, let's see what the vocal realm they can take besides Karen. And that's what I enjoy the most about Little Big Town. But I agree. I forgot about that album. It didn't even cross my mind. Like not even for a second.
Have you listened to Forever and a Night?
I think
Because I'm
so.
pretty sure Philip sings lead on that one, and it's
Yes.
his voice is so blue, like just the soul in his voice. You just want to like melt into it.
And that's the thing. He could have become the lead singer of that and would have been just as big. Like they would have been just as big because I think his voice is just as good as Karen's from a
Yeah.
male's perspective. You know.
Yeah, this album is really cool because I think quite a few songs have mix it up, like who's leading,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is super cool. I'm like here for that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Hey,
Okay.
before we do our number ones, here's what I want to do. Let's trade off
Okay.
honorable mentions. What could have been number
Okay.
one? All right. I, I'll do two, and then you do two, and then we'll switch back and forth. So
Okay.
on my honorable mentions, this is gonna be a hated honorable mention because they're like it should have made it in your top five, and that is "What You See Ain't What You Get" from Luke Combs. In
Okay.
my honest opinion, thought his first album was way better than this one because I think
Hmm.
at this point of his career, he was so giant and he was just like, I have to get songs out quickly.
Yeah.
And I think, and not taking that away from him, but I think that was kind of holding me back a little bit. Like, oh, I'm excited to listen to this new Luke Combs album, but it's not as good. For me, it has more cheesy country vibe to it than the original than the This One's For You. That's just my honest opinion.
I would agree. I love Luke Combs, but I would agree.
And then next on there is Southside from Sam Hunt is on my honorable mentions. And I'll tell you why. I will tell you why.
Oh, I forgot about him.
I will tell you why. Because every song on Southside is amazing. You're going to like, this is the jam. But I feel like that song was an EP. And I don't consider an EP to be an album because when Sam Hunt put all of the singles out, I think he put like 6 or 7 singles out before the album. Yeah. He put all 7 of those songs that we already knew from 3 years ago on the album and just put 4 new ones. And I'm that is what took it down a notch for me, where it was like, this album is good, but I don't consider it an album because we knew 7 of the 12 songs already on the album and we were only getting 4 new ones. So that's why, in my opinion, because let's say if Brad Paisley was to put out a new song and he has that new song, No I in Beer. I know the song. Yeah. So once it comes on the album, to save time, I'm going to skip it because I know what it sounds like. I know it's good.
I already know it.
And for me, it took like 20 minutes to listen to the new Sam record because I'm skipping through Body Like a Back Road or drinking too much or whatever it may be. And that's why it's on honorable mentions and not on my top 5.
That's interesting that you say that because I honestly think that country music or just like music in general is moving that way. Like if you look, people like even Morgan Wallen, look at Morgan Wallen, like he's dropping singles. He's not dropping albums. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of, I feel like the direction of country music. That's where I feel like I've been instructed to like drop singles and then drop an EP with everything kind of bundled together. Just because people listen to that more, because people like you and me, we're going to go in and listen to the albums, but a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't, they will just hear what they hear on the radio and then they'll go try to find it. You know what I mean? And even I find myself doing that with some, you know, if people drop an EP, but I will forget about the other songs and not listen to them. I mean, I am like an album listener. I do like doing that. But a lot of people don't. And so I think the whole dropping singles and then eventually dropping a full album or EP or whatever it is, and then just like having that under the same collection of songs is like the new direction in music. But who knows? Maybe that'll change.
I know. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with people just dropping singles because, I mean, freaking Morgan Wallen has a 30-track album coming out next month. And I'm like, 30 tracks. So let's see, if they're 3.5 minutes a piece, it's going to take me almost 2 hours to listen to an album when, you know what I can get done in 2 hours? And it's just make the album 10 tracks and be done with it. Right. You know, or if you're just going to drop singles, like I love what Blake Shelton does. He drops singles and then we'll get a collection of number 1 hits, put them on an album and put those new singles on it. I enjoy what he does for that. But I know, I agree. I was just expecting more from Sam Hunt because I think it was we were so ready for a new Sam Hunt album. And when he just came out with just 4 songs plus what he released before, for me, it was a bummer because I was like, come on. Like, because
he is such a brilliant songwriter and artist. Like he really does such a great job. I can't believe I forgot about that record.
I know if the album is good if I own it on vinyl, and I own it on vinyl, and so it's like it's good, but it's like, you know, I was bummed out when it came out, but now I just have to learn to deal with it.
Yeah, I remember listening to it also during quarantine, and I was very impressed. I was very, very impressed with him. Production, everything, writing, I loved it. So I can't believe I forgot about that, and I'm just gonna apologize to Sam Hunt.
Because he's listening, huh? Yeah, really, like he's listening.
You never know.
All right, give me 2 of your honorable mentions, and then I go back and get 2, and then you give 2 if you got them.
Okay, so I have I only have 3 honorable mentions.
Okay, but that's fine.
I would say, so my first honorable mention is Lemonade Stand by Neil Towns. I
Oh
thought that
man, I forgot about that one. Man, that's a good one
I
too.
so good. She was someone that I didn't really pay attention to at first.
Hmm.
And then I heard about her song,
Somebody's daughter.
what is it? Nope, Jersey on the
Jersey on the
Wall.
wall.
Jersey on the Wall. And that one messed me up.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
insane. And somebody's daughter is a great song. Everybody loves that song. It's a great song. But also, you know, I just thought that the writing was really good. I just thought it was a beautiful record. I just thought it was really well done. I really enjoy most of the songs on that record. I don't really skip over any. Um, she's not like my favorite female voice in country music, I wouldn't say. Um, but her writing is so good. And I thought it was such a well done record that I it had to be mentioned, you know.
Yeah.
So that's one. My second one is Sex Tapes by Fletcher.
I
And
have no clue who that is.
so she's okay, so she's pop.
Okay.
She I'm trying to think of what the song is called that you would know. Let me look it up. Um, so she released this record during quarantine. She was quarantined with her ex-girlfriend. And so she released this series of songs on this album called the Sex Tapes, but X in sex is like in parentheses to
I'm,
like highlight that it's about her ex.
I'm looking up Fletcher right now. I'm trying to see if I know
Oh,
anything.
Undrunk. I wish I could get a little undrunk so I could uncall you 5 in the morning. Do you know?
I don't think so.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
I don't think so.
That's okay. I fell in love with Fletcher this year. I've also been writing with more like pop people. Not that
Okay.
my music is pop, because it's not, but I've been writing with more pop writers because they're like their play on lyrics and melody is just insane. And I think Fletcher is a great example. I think Fletcher's melodies of her songs are just insane. They're insane. And I love her writing. She there's one song that's like one of my favorite songs
Mhm.
ever on this album, and it's called Bitter.
Okay.
And it's literally about like how you like when you break up with someone, it's like, well, I already know you're with someone else, and that like it's pretty like the hook of the song is, can she taste me now I'm bitter? Like when you kiss your
Hmm.
new person, like, can she taste me now I'm bitter? Because maybe the person like
That's interesting.
mess with you, whatever. But yeah, this is like that's my like pop obsession right now is Fletcher. I've been like listening to her on repeat lately. I just her songs are just, she's just brilliant, and she's also super unapologetic about like being herself and being confident, and I'm here for all of that. So
All right. Well, I'll match your three, and I'll give you one more. Give me your last
okay.
one. Honorable
My
mention.
last one is My Gift by Carrie Underwood. It's her Christmas
Christmas
album that
album.
she released in September. I feel like Christmas albums don't count with these because so much of a Christmas album is also like covers.
Yeah.
However, Carrie wrote a few of the songs on the album, and has a few like new songs like by other writers on
Okay.
the album, which I really love. And I just thought it was really well done. She even like has her son come in on some of her songs, which I think is like absolutely adorable. Just the way that she completed and put together this Christmas album, especially when she wasn't even able to be with her producer because of
Mm.
COVID. Like they killed this record. I think Carrie was made to do a Christmas record, and I think it's one of the best Christmas records I've ever heard. So I'm very yeah, I'm so happy for her. I thought it was so well done. And she just released a live like concert
Yeah,
of
on
her.
HBO.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely beautiful. She's a stunning human being in every way. I just love her.
Man. Let me rattle some of these off, and I'll actually pick the one I want to do because I have Funeral from Lil Wayne. I've got I've got Live at the Ryman from Justin Moore, and then
Oh.
the one I'm going to pick, which I think is going to be another surprise, is going to be Letter to You from Bruce Springsteen.
Oh.
I love Bruce Springsteen
Okay.
so much, and I actually went for Bruce Springsteen for Halloween with my cousin, which I thought was pretty funny.
Aww.
But
That
I just think Bruce Springsteen has this raspiness, and I tried reading his book, and his book is hard as fuck to read because he's using like thus and thou, and it's like I don't understand it, but I think Bruce Springsteen, because his last couple of albums just haven't been good. And it's like any person from the 70s and 80s that come out with a new album and it's just okay because you're used to hearing to the old stuff. But I think Bruce Springsteen, the boss, hits home with this new album. So
interesting. I'm gonna have to go listen to it.
all right. Now to the number one spot for the albums of the year, and then we'll move on to the songs. I want you to guess what my number one's gonna be.
Chris Stapleton's record.
Nope, didn't make my list.
What?
No, I'm joking. That's number one. Starting over Chris Stapleton.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say, I was like, what?
Yeah, no. I mean, come on. I mean,
I know.
all you gotta say, come, period, on, period. Chris Stapleton. He's got a song on that album, and it's called "You Should Probably Leave." And oh my goodness. And I love the turnaround because he's like, okay, you're trying to kiss me, but I think you should probably leave. And then he keeps going and he's like, fine, I'm going to give in, but we're going to kiss. And then you're going to be like, well, I'm going to leave. And I'm just like, man. And then Maggie's song, we've talked about that last podcast. That's hard to listen to, but it's still fantastic. You know, I found a hidden gem in that song. If you go to Maggie's song and you listen to the final verse where he talks about burying her on the hill, you can actually hear Chris Stapleton crying in the session. When he's singing, he's crying. And it's amazing. Like, not amazing, he's crying. It's just like he wrote this song years ago and it still gets to him. And that was something beautiful to hear.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to it because I literally was just listening to the record yesterday too.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like full focused though on it. You know what I mean? I was doing something else.
It's just every song Chris Stapleton puts out is fantastic.
Yeah.
My favorite Chris Stapleton song is always going to be Either Way. I mean, man. But
he's just insane. I love him. Like, I'm so happy that that's your number one. That makes me so happy.
Why is that?
Because I just think I love that you appreciate him and his writing because I feel like sometimes people don't get recognized for their writing and also for their voices. Like Chris Stapleton has an insane voice. And that is what does it for me. Usually is like the voice. Like honestly, Chris Stapleton could probably sing anything and I would just fall over. And his voice just moves me. And there's very few voices that genuinely move me. And his is one of them. And so I just think everything he creates is just brilliant. But on top of that, he's one of the most brilliant songwriters as well. And you're just like multi-talented. How do you top that?
You know, he performed on one of the country music awards they had this year. And he did Starting Over. And he did it broken down with an acoustic, and his wife, Morgan, joined him in on harmonies. Oh, my goodness. I was crying so hard. I was like, it's just beautiful, man. I don't cry about a lot of stuff, but music gets me, man. Music just
Him
gets
and
me.
Morgan is one of the best sounds
Oh man.
ever.
I wish they would just do a whole duet album, which I don't know if they would. But man, you talk about fantastic. That would
He
be
has
such
an
a good
insane
album,
voice, too.
man. But all right,
Oh,
you're number one.
all right.
I'm assuming this is going to be country music, so give me a hint, and I'll try to guess yours.
It's something that it's an album we've already talked about.
Well, that gives me a lot of hints. What's the artist? What's the letter the artist starts with?
I can't tell you. You're gonna guess it right away.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it on my list?
Yep.
Oh, it was. Hardy. Is that
Yep.
right? Hardy, a rock.
Yep.
I kind of figured
Hardy,
because
a rock.
I remember how much we both love Hardy, so I kind of figured, but yeah.
Wow,
you played that poker face really well when I mentioned mine was Hardy. You played that poker face really well because I was like, you were like, yeah, it's a good album. Wow, okay. All right.
Because I didn't want to give it away.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't have remembered anyways. But.
I don't even know what to say. Hardy just does it for me. I don't really know what he could have done better. This album is insane. I listen to it over and over and over again. Even the really redneck songs, I come from a redneck family, but I'm not super redneck.
Me too.
I'm pretty evenly city country girl. I'm both, because let me tell you what, growing up in Minnesota, I know it's not the South, but I grew up hunting and sort of going fishing. I hated fishing, but I still would go. But you know what I mean? I grew up four-wheeling, dirt biking. We have Rangers and snowmobiles and, all of that stuff. I had a cabin that didn't have a bathroom, so we had to go outside. You know what I mean? So we grew up the same, even though we grew up in the North. It's that you still can grow up in the country.
Man, let me tell you something. Using the bathroom outside, for me, because I don't squat when I pee, but that is the hardest thing you'll ever have to do in your goddamn life. Because you're like, all right, I don't want to get it nowhere on me, so I'm going to strip, and I'm just going to put my legs out as far as possible, and I'm going to hang on to this tree branch. I'm going to see what happens.
Imagine that in 15-degree weather. Okay?
Oh, I can't imagine it. It's freaking cold today. It's 30 degrees here, and I'm dying over here. So.
Yep. I'm so excited to go home to Minnesota to negative a million degrees. It's going to be fun. But anyway, yeah, a rock is so amazing for me. Give Heaven Some Hell.
Yeah.
Insanity. A rock, though, just that I don't really cry at songs very often. When I'm listening to songs, I don't often cry. And that is one song that it's not even that sad, but it just does it for me because it just, I don't know, I think it brings a life perspective that this year hits so close to home.
Yeah, it's a life cycle. It's
yeah.
It's 2020, when you mentioned that, yeah, it's look, next week my child could be doing this, and the next week we could put him on a headstone. You know what I mean?
Right. It's devastatingly true. And I love it. And I think only Hardy could literally take a word such as rock and write an insane song about it,
Yeah. And my favorites on that album, I have them written down here, which be Hate Your Hometown. That one to me was okay, you're going to hate your home, then it come back to me. I enjoyed that. And then obviously Broke Boy, because I grew up broke. Well, I say that, but we kind of grew up in a middle class, and then sometimes we'd phase down to how we're going to pay this week. It hit perspective to me because a broke boy, how are you going to fall in love with someone that doesn't have nothing? And it was just, whoa. It was okay, here we go.
I really liked So Close too with
Ashton Kraft.
Oh my gosh, man. I didn't even know who that was before that song. Wow. Their voices together are insane. And the song is perfect. It's just so good. I'm so impressed. This record is just, it's phenomenal.
It's
11 out of
fantastic.
10.
Yeah. Now you can't do that because that's not a such thing. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started. Now you can do it 11 out of 11, but not 11 out of 10. That's not. That's like somebody that says I'm 150%. No, you're not. You're 100%. No, you're not. You're 100%.
I mean,
Like I hated in school getting like 105s, 110s because like
because of extra credit.
because you can't put it in. You can't put it in like a grade book.
Oh,
Because it goes to 100, and you're like, well, did my 10 points just disappear, or are you going to put it on something else? It was just give me 100 and that's it. You know, whatever.
just give me 100. I was all about the 105%. I was like, give me all the extra credit. I'm gonna keep bumping. I'm gonna get an A plus plus plus.
So were you a bad student or a good student?
Well, I was a good student.
You make good grades?
Yeah, I was like above a 4.0 GPA.
Okay. That's cool. I was too.
Yeah,
I'm just making sure.
I tried really hard. Oh yeah, that's amazing.
All right. Let's see. Do songs of the year now. I
All right.
have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have like 11 on here, and I'm like, I can't pick.
I
All
did
right.
not know we were allowed to have that many. Otherwise, I maybe would have too. But
You can
I
have as many as-
I have 3 honorable mentions again. So.
You have as many as you want.
Oh, but you know what? You know what
What's
I
that?
did?
Hmm.
I like sort of cheated,
Okay.
but I didn't. Well, yeah, I sort of cheated, but I don't care.
It can't be one of your songs. If that's how you're saying
It's
you
not.
cheated. Okay. All right.
No.
Well, how did you cheat then?
You'll find out.
Okay. All right. I went first last round. You go first.
Okay. Okay. So number 5, for me, this is how I cheated. I picked 2 songs by the same artist that were both on the same record.
That's fine.
For different reasons. So number 5, I have Martha Divine and One Night Standards by Ashley McBride because they're different. They're so different, but the writing in both of them are just insane. Production's insane. They're both really awesome live songs, which I have so much respect for. I don't know. I think her writing just punches you in the face, and I just love it. And like Martha Divine's like I'm gonna get back at the girl that my dad's cheating on my mom with, and gonna kill her and bury her or whatever. And like the music video is hilarious, and the song is just so Miranda Lambert. Brings me back to my childhood, and I love it. And she's such a baddie. Like I don't know, she's insane. And then One Night Standards, the writing is crazy.
It's the modern day Kerosene from Miranda.
Yes, I know. I'm like just like banging my head to it. I'm here for all of it.
I enjoy One Night Standards better than Martha Divine because I understand where she was coming from, because it was kind of like That's the Night the Lights Went On in Georgia from Reba a little bit, just with a Kerosene type of 2020 twist for me.
Yeah.
And I think One Night Standards was taken into a different realm where she's like, hey, we're just one night standards. We're just going to sleep together, which they've done a lot,
Right.
But I just think it was how she wrote it and how – I don't know. I don't really know. She is just something else. And I really – even though I haven't listened to her a lot, and I'm going to have to go listen to her album, but yeah, she's just something different that I enjoy. And I just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, she brought the one night stand into like she approached it differently, and it just is so impressive.
It's just a room key. All right. Let's see. I'm going through my list here, and I'm marking stuff off that we've already talked about. I'm gonna put. Okay, I know what I'm gonna put, because this song was big, giant before it was even released, and it's gonna be Forever After All from Luke Combs, because that song was so giant on TikTok, and everybody knew the song, and the song wasn't even released, and everybody's like, Luke Combs, put it out. He's like, No, you're gonna wait. You're gonna wait. You're gonna wait. Get that much more anticipation. So yeah, I have to put Forever up for that reason, that it was just so big before it was even released. Just the 30-second chorus, and I was like, all right, now we got to hear another Beautiful Crazy. Here we go. Gonna make my mom, my sister go crazy. Here we go.
Here we go. Luke Combs does that.
Yes, he does.
That's awesome. Okay,
all right, back to you.
my number 4 is A Little Bit Yours by J.P. Saxe. This song is just, J.P. Saxe is one of the most brilliant songwriters that I was introduced to this year. Mm-hmm. Which it might sound crazy that I didn't really know a lot about him before this year, but I am like now obsessed with him. He just is such a good writer. And the song A Little Bit Yours is about how when you like end a relationship and it's like, you're not mine anymore, but I'm still a little bit yours because I still am in love with you and I'm trying to get past it. And it's just the devastation behind that time in your life when you do split from someone, but your heart is still with them, but they're already moving on. And like, that is such a hard thing. And I think we can all like identify with that to a certain extent. And the song is just so brilliantly written. And like, of course, JP Saxe like thought of writing about it, and like he just did it so beautifully. And that's like one of my top songs, honestly, for the year that I've like listened to just over and over and over again on repeat. So, and his voice is just butter. I mean,
you'll play it for a piece of bread, then it'll just melt it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's just so good. The writing's so good. Yeah.
I am gonna cheat like you did. I'm gonna put 2 songs from the same artist from the same album.
Okay. I'll let it happen.
I think you're going to be shocked by this one as well. I was not a fan of this guy because of how he started out. And my sister was like, you have to listen, and she would play it in the car. And I would just get so irritated. Like, turn it off. No. Listen to something everybody's going to listen to, not this crap. But I fell in love with the new Harry Styles album, which I couldn't put because it came out in 2019. And it's the first one is Falling, which – I mean, come on. Such a sad, great song. And then you've got the Watermelon Sugar jam that's on the radio right now. I mean, Watermelon Sugar, huh? I'm just like, come on, man. And that's the jam. That to me, that's the jam.
It's a jam.
So I cheated there with Falling because it's a sensitive Harry Styles. And I didn't like One Direction when they came out. But I think if you could look past him being in a boy band, then
yeah, no, I Harry Styles has such an insane voice too. And Watermelon Sugar High, I didn't really understand the song right away. I feel like I had to have a lot of people explain it to me.
I still don't understand it.
Yeah. And I don't know that he does either, honestly. He's been interviewed about it before and he just kind of stays quiet. So
it's kind of like Train with Drops of Jupiter. What the fuck is that even about? I'm just gonna jam to it because I don't know what it's about.
It's just a bop and it gets moving.
But what I love about it is like Train and Harry Styles. Harry Styles, if he doesn't know what Watermelon Sugar is about, then that's just bad songwriting and he was just trying to write a jam. But like for Pat Monahan, you can ask him, hey Pat, what is Drops of Jupiter about? And he'll tell you exactly what it's about. It don't make sense, but he'll tell you what it's about. And that's what I appreciate. So yeah, Watermelon Sugar, Falling is my number. I didn't even number these. All right, that's just next on the list. That's next on the list. Because I just have, look at my list. I just have them all written down. I mean, it's crappy.
Oh.
So I couldn't pick.
You got to pick those.
All right.
I know, it's hard.
Go ahead.
Okay, my number 3 is 7 Summers by Morgan Wallen. I like Morgan Wallen. He's like not, I don't think I'm obsessed with him as like a lot of my friends are.
Or like me.
Morgan. Yeah, sure. Okay. I thought that I think that this song is really good because it's just it's a sweet song, and like I thought the perspective, like where he's coming from, like and that was 7 summers ago, is such a cool new way of looking at it. I don't think it's a new storyline, but I think it's a new perspective of it, and I think that that's really sweet, and it's just a beautiful song. I think a lot of people have absolutely loved it, and I loved it. I think this was a Morgan Wallen song that I could get behind.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought that was a good choice of him putting that song out. So
Can I ask you a question about that song?
yeah,
Because you have more experience in partying than I do. So I want to know what this is about.
in
He's
partying.
in partying, yeah. You obviously drink
Okay,
and stuff like that. So I'm not saying you do drugs, but in the song
no,
7 Summers, he says
yeah.
that was 7 summers of coke 7 summers ago. So does that mean cocaine, or what is coke just a different reference to something else? Have you never caught that before? Because I
I don't know
said,
that I've ever.
does he say coke? And then you go to the lyrics and it says that was 7 summers of coke 7 summers ago. So I'm wondering, is that cocaine or is that something else? Like, that's what I was asking the partier here.
So I don't really. I mean, I don't really. I know that Morgan Wallen parties. I don't really party.
Well, I
Um,
wasn't meaning in a disrespectful way,
but
but you have more
no,
experience
no,
than
no, I
I
know.
do.
I okay. I I don't. I don't see that in the lyrics
You don't
anywhere.
see that. You don't see. Let me hang
No,
on.
I'm literally looking at it right now.
Let's see.
I like am not finding it.
7 summers of coke. Let's see what this says. Yeah, right here. It says, this is from whiskeyriff.com. And it says, oh, my internet's slow. Morgan Wallen finally dropped 7 summers, and shocker, the fans are surprised at the lyrics. And that was 7 summers. Oh, okay. That was 7 summers, a Coke and Southern Comfort. Were we dumb or just younger? Who knows? That was 7 summers ago. Okay. So I guess I just misunderstood the lyrics,
Oh, okay.
because I thought it was going, that was 7 summers of Coke, but it says that was 7 summers, a Coke and a Southern Comfort. So that was a mistake on my end.
Oh, see, like the lyrics that I'm looking at right now says, and that was 7 summers ago in Southern Comfort. Were we dumb or just younger? Who
Yeah,
knows?
that was supposed to be a Coke and Southern Comfort. Okay, all right, never mind. Never mind.
Otherwise, that would have made the song a little bit.
That's what I was
I think
asking.
it would have had a
That's
little twist in there.
that's where I was like, I don't understand. What does? Yeah, that's where I was like, I don't understand. I guess I could have looked it up, but anyways,
That's so funny.
my number 3 is More Than My Hometown from Morgan Wallen.
Okay.
I enjoyed that one more than 7 summers, because I just, again, the concept of she's leaving. I love you, but my hometown is way more important than you are, which is kind of selfish in a way, but I don't think I've heard that like that in a long time. So it's probably Colder Weather from Zach Brown.
See, I just don't. I like don't like the topic of the song. Like, I can't love you more than my hometown. I'm just like, but
It's
I don't have a strong connection with my hometown. Like I don't have like I never had any desire to stay in my hometown. I never.
me neither. Me,
So I don't have a connection to that. So I'm just kind of just I don't know. It's hard for me to have a
mhm,
connection to that song because I wanted to leave as soon as I could. So,
yeah.
but
No,
it is. I mean, yes, it's a good song. People loved it.
all right. Up next.
Okay. Okay. Whiskey Sunrise by Chris Stapleton.
Ooh. Okay. Here's what I did. I had You Should
Okay.
Probably Leave from Chris Stapleton, but since I've already talked about it, I marked it off. But you can keep it on there because I just have so many songs on here I'm going through. So as you're talking, I'm like, okay, is this as good as this? Or is this as good as this? So
Yeah. I Whiskey Sunrise hit me in the feels like super hard because I feel so I this song describes someone that I know so well.
Okay.
And I think I connect to it in such a strong way because of that. And like, um, it just like listening to the song, like he doesn't sound super necessarily sad. I don't think it was produced as like a super, super sad song, but when you really listen to the lyrics or like you read the lyrics when you're listening to the song, it is a devastating song.
Yep.
It is sad. And I just love that he kind of disguised the devastation of the song in maybe a little bit more of like uh I guess more of like an uplifting
Mm-hmm.
production, I guess. And but like when you really listen to the lyrics, it's like, wow, this I don't know, this song just hits home for me. So
Yeah, it's kind of like Michael Jackson's Black or White, because Black or White's a sad song, but he was like, "What's made this upbeat? People don't think." It's kind of what it's like, because he goes, "Whiskey Sunrise," and it's just a big
yeah,
long. Yeah, I agree. Whiskey
the way that he
Sunrise.
the way that
Yeah.
he sings Whiskey Sunrise it sounds like he's in pain, but it sounds more of like an anger pain, like the way that he sings it. And it like he's mad at himself kind of.
Let me tell you something about Chris Stapleton. You give me one person that's a better singer than Chris Stapleton right now, and I will send you over $100. You can't. You can't. You,
I
oh,
mean,
you could put. You could
Carrie
put. I'm talking males here. Females are different,
oh,
because females can
oh,
go
okay,
into
okay, okay. I was gonna say.
females can go into a different range than I think males can.
Oh,
You
right.
could put Luke Combs in that category, but I think Chris Stapleton could sing the crap out of Luke
I
Combs. Like, he could just
I
knock him out
still
of the
think,
water.
yeah, I think Luke Combs is insane, and like I will defend Luke Combs to the day I die because I think it's so refreshing to have a
Mm-hmm.
voice like such a range, a male range in country music. But yeah, Chris Stapleton could sing any male artist under the table for sure.
I mean, he sang Leanne Womack a couple of weeks ago. Come
Mm.
on, I mean, man.
No, Chris Stapleton is a gem. He is
Mm-hmm.
like a hidden gem. He just is
Mm-hmm.
insane. Yeah.
All right, next up on mine. Man, do I go Justin Bieber or do I go Eric Church?
Mm. I almost put Justin Bieber on my list and then I forgot about him.
Because I have Holy from Justin Bieber,
Yeah,
and I
I love that.
have Stick That in Your Country song from Eric Church. So I'm trying to think which one.
Ooh.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna go with the jam. I'm gonna go Holy, Justin Bieber. That's what I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I mean,
Yep.
Chance the Rapper, which I don't really know who
I
Chance the
know.
Rapper is, honestly, but he was on the Justin Bieber song, so I guess he's big.
Did it make you as happy as it made me that like I feel like Justin is finally like coming clean with like everything, just the truth of like how he grew up,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like for so long so many people like hated him and was like, oh, he's such a jerk and da da da, and it's like, yeah, but from a young age he was being put through so much that we don't even know.
By his choice. And this is where I struggle with this, because he finally was like, look, I was a dick. I was everything in the book, but look, I've settled down. I found God, and I'm not like
Yeah.
I was. But then he's like, but I was just put through this ringer when I was 14, and I was like, but I'm sitting here thinking, but didn't you want to be that at 14? Like, it's like, it'd be different if he was 6 and didn't really have a say so, but he's kind of maturing at 14, so it's kind of like, you do have a say so. I don't want to do it, or I do, but I understand it. I understand where you're coming from, and I understand he's like, look, I was younger. I didn't know nothing. I was just being thrown all this money from this stupid song called Baby that that had nothing to do with anything.
Right.
And then now he settled down, and because Justin Bieber was a chick. Like, a chick artist. Like girls loved Justin Bieber.
Love.
You better not see a
Yeah.
guy listening to Justin Bieber, because you do that, you're going to get picked on tremendously. But then now it's kind of like Justin Bieber is kind of the go-to nowadays.
Right. And I think like in his defense, like, yeah, he wanted like the fortune and the fame from a young age. Like he wanted to be like, you have to sort of want that to a certain extent if you want to be like an artist and want to tour and stuff. But I also think that the music industry is slimier and like tougher to be in when you're young and you don't know who you are. When I was 14, I had no idea who I was. I mean, geez, when I was 20, I don't think I knew who I was and who I wanted to be. You know what I mean? So when you're developing, being taken advantage of, or just all the things like that people can do, because he was a moneymaker. He made a lot of people a lot of money. You know, so just thinking about like probably how he was taken advantage of in like the situations he was maybe put in that he didn't really have a say in because he wanted to do music. I think that's hard. And like, I'm just glad that it just makes me so happy that he has like found God and is putting out this new music. Like he just seems happier and more joyful, and it just gives me joy.
Well, you know, he put out an album this year. Way early. And it didn't make my list because I don't really think I listened to it that much. But
yeah, I didn't either.
All right. Number 1 spot for you.
All right. So I cheated again for number 1 spot.
Okay.
But I'm not sorry about it.
All right.
From the same artist, not going to be a surprise. But it's A Rock and Give Heaven Some Hell by Hardy.
Okay.
I think A Rock is
a rock is a gem hidden in a rock.
When you look at the title, you don't expect much from the song, and then you listen to it and you feel your life change.
I know.
Like you feel your soul shifting in your body. Like,
have you seen the music video for that? For Rock?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I came up. I don't really watch music videos, but I came upon it. I was like, "Hey, this is kind of cool. Let's see where they go with it." It's just as good as a song.
Oh,
follows a couple. Like it follows this guy, falls in love with this girl, and then they're old, and he dies, and it's sad. It's kind of like Give Heaven Some Hell. It's like, man, here we go.
Oh, and just like the plan words for Give Heaven Some Hell, like that is such a thing in songwriting that we do all the time, where like we try to use opposites in the same line, talking about the same
Double
thing,
negative.
but we try to use like up and down and like, yeah, like front and back, or heaven and hell. And oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I literally listen to those 2 songs all the time, and I just, the writing, the vocals, the production. Yep. Both of them.
I had A Rock on my list. But I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go with a female artist. And okay. I remember when I heard this song, I said, oh my goodness. More Hearts Than Mine from Ingrid Andress is going to be my number 1. I mean, it was an interesting concept of, okay, you're going to come home, you're going to meet my family, yada, they're going to do this, they're going to do this. But remember, if anything happens, you're not just breaking my heart, they fell in love with you as well, and you're breaking their hearts. And it was just, man, it was wow.
It's like a good song.
I also had Die from a Broken Heart from Maddie and Tay, because I thought that was a good concept as well. But I just think More Hearts Than Mine is the obvious pick there from me.
Okay. Yeah, that is really such a good song. I remember covering it earlier this year, and brilliant perspective to write about.
Yeah.
Like, how have we not thought about that before?
You know, I was listening to, I'm really not a Gabby Barrett fan, but she had popped up on my thing and I was listening to it, and she has this song and she talks about mascara tears on her pillowcase. And I was like, how, like, that wouldn't even cross my, even though I'm not a girl, but it's still like mascara tears. That's an interesting concept to go about it.
Yeah.
So,
I have that, like, I have that lyric in one of my songs. It's not the song isn't about
yeah.
masturbators, but I have that, like, in a line in one of my songs. So that's funny.
All right, look, we still got some time here. If you're cool with it, I want to do some. We just did the top 5 songs of the year. So here's what I want to do. I want to do just a quick off the head top 5 of different things.
Great. Okay. Oh boy. All right.
Are you down? You cool? You got time?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm nervous. Okay. Here we go.
Top 5 movies of all time.
Oh.
Come on.
Should I say it right now? Do I have to do it in order?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay. I feel like I have a different taste than, like, maybe a lot of people's opinions.
There you go again. I do too have a different opinion.
Okay. Oh yeah, opinion.
I'm teasing. It's going to be a running joke the whole time, so get used to it.
I am going to start. Can I start with number 1?
I don't care how you start.
Okay, great. I'm going to start with number 1 because to this day, I think it's one of my favorite movies. It's not a movie that I feel like I can watch all the time, but I think it was done so well. I'm just still so impressed. American Sniper.
Okay. I disagree. I thought the book was way better, but anyways.
I've never read the book, and I'm normally a book person where I read the book.
But I don't want to bust your bubble, but do you know that guy is a liar, Chris Kyle? Almost everything he's talked about is lies. Like, he talks about in the book where he was in a bar and Jesse Ventura, the wrestler, had come up to him and punched him in the face and all this stuff. Well, Jesse Ventura was like, look, that crap has never happened because the date you said I was here, I was actually here and I have proof. So he took him to court, and Chris Kyle had gotten killed. And so Jesse Ventura was still going through with the lawsuit, was suing the book company. And then it came out that Chris Kyle did not have all the tags, did not have all the medals that he said he had won, did not have this, did not have that. So it came out that he was just like this big fat liar in a book. And I was like, whoa. And then because then they had made like a documentary about it, and they were like, well, we're kind of upset we made this movie now because we don't know what's true and what's not now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still think that they did a good job with the movie.
Yeah, it was still a good movie.
Actors and actresses.
Yeah, it was still a good
movie.
They
did a great job. Like, I can't even imagine how much work was put into every single scene of that movie. Like, I was very, very impressed with how they did that. Like, the actors and actresses just, like, blew my mind.
All right.
I think it's a great movie.
How are you going? 1 through 5? Is that how you're going to go?
Yeah, I thought I would go, number 1, just because it's been my favorite movie for a while.
I'll do the same. I'll go 1 through 5 as well. Okay. My number 1 favorite movie of all time. Get ready to laugh. Meet the Parents.
You said this last time. You said that on the last time.
Meet the Parents.
Yep, I remember.
Meet the Parents.
Okay.
Meet the Parents. Without a doubt. I'm just this big Ben Stiller fan. I just love that movie so much.
Those movies are good.
For some stupid reason, it's a chick flick, and I got mad at you because you recommended a chick flick, a chick book. But anyways,
didn't even read it, so you don't even know.
Nope, I don't. All right, number 2 for you.
Number 2 for me is probably Bridesmaids.
Never seen it.
Have you seen it? Mm-mm. Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Maybe I should review that maybe should I do that on movie review or something?
It's like a chick flick.
Okay.
But it's comedy. It's funny. The whole movie is just hilarious. I could watch it a million times and still laugh at every single scene. Like, it's just great. I love it.
Number 2 for me is Step Brothers. Without a doubt, the funniest movie I have ever seen in my life.
I don't think it's as funny as everybody says it is.
Whoa. Why do you go, of course, when I say Step Brothers and you go, of course?
Because it's everybody's favorite comedy movie. Like everyone quotes Step Brothers all the time, and I'm
All
like,
the
I
time.
don't understand.
Oh my
All
good. It's the funniest movie I've ever seen in my life. The absolute funniest movie I've ever seen in my life.
See, I don't know. I've seen it a few times, and I don't know.
I can't watch it because the whole time I'll be going, Robert, I'll be quoting the whole entire movie. Robert better not
Like
touch
the
me.
entire time.
I'll drop that motherfucker. And it's just the whole time I'm just sitting here going, I'm going. You know, this house was
That's so
built in
funny.
1983 by General Custard. If you like food, you better put your name on it because they will be thrown out by me. But yeah, it's the whole time, and people get annoyed.
It's just interesting, yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's as funny as everyone says it is, but maybe that's just like not my humor. I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe I would think it's funny now. I haven't watched it in a hot minute, so
Sure.
I don't know. Okay. Number 3 for me is probably Just Mercy. It's like a newer
Oh
movie,
my
but
goodness. Oh my goodness. I cried in that movie.
I did too.
Ooh.
I
Have
was
you
I
read the
like
book?
No, I was watching it on a
Oh.
plane because I was coming from Minnesota to Nashville this past year, and I watched it on a plane, and of course it's like in the middle of everything happening with George Floyd and everything, and
Yeah.
I just
Oh my
I was
goodness.
bawling on the plane.
Oh my goodness. That that movie is so underrated because I don't think it got the attention it needed.
It
I,
absolutely did not get the attention that it deserves. It was done
oh
flawlessly.
my goodness. The book is even better, and that shows a lot. Like the book is even better. Like
And the movie's like amazing. I've already seen it like 4 times, and
yeah. I
yeah.
the part that got me was I really only cried in 2 parts of it, and that was when they were killing that one guy and they were playing Amazing Grace over the speakers.
Yes.
That
Oh my
got me
gosh.
so bad. And then when Jamie Foxx realized that he wasn't going to get out of prison, and then you remember when he tried to assault the officers, and oh my goodness. But the thing about the book is, you think where he's singing Amazing Grace, where they're playing it, is sad. In real life, the I'm trying to think of his name. I got it. Brian Stevenson. I'm looking at the book right now. He talked to the guy, and Brian Stevenson sang it to him as they were electrocuting him. Instead of in the movie where they play it over the speakers, the lawyer is actually singing it to him. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Man.
I just
Man.
I just like can't even.
Man.
I don't.
Yeah,
Ugh,
that movie is fantastic. Man.
that scene just like, yeah, that scene like makes me go to a different place. Like it just, I don't know. I just don't. I don't like that, and I know it's like a political thing, and
Mm-hmm.
like whatever. I don't like it. It makes me
Yeah.
so upset, and I think it needs to come to surface. It needs to be more. There needs to be more discussion surrounding it because it is absolutely devastating, and like how amazing that they not only have a book but that they made such a great movie. I think everyone should see it. I literally, after I saw it the first time, I told everybody. I was like, y'all have to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it on Amazon Prime, and I like gave people my login because I was like, you need to go watch this like right now because that's how good it is, and I just want everyone to be informed. Like
It was fantastic, and I forget about it because it was. I've only seen it. I think I've seen it twice, maybe, but I just forget about it because it's like you say, it's underrated. Nobody talks about it.
yeah.
But my number 3 on my list, Avengers Endgame.
Oh, I've never seen like any of the Avengers movies.
I'm just a big superhero nerd. Not comic book wise. Never read a comic book in my life, but the movies for me are fantastic. So I'm not going to go in more detail. You don't understand. I'm not going to bore you.
Oh, okay, great. I'm sorry, I don't understand.
No, you're cool. Good. Go ahead. 4.
Okay, I'm probably gonna have to say Elf. I love Elf.
Oh
I
my
could watch it
goodness.
a million times. I love it. I think it's so funny.
Okay. Okay.
It gets me in the spirit.
I will give you some leeway. Me and my family just sat down and watched it last week because
Okay.
that is the family's favorite Christmas movie, apparently to them. I I enjoy it because it's Will Ferrell.
Yes, he's so funny.
He's funny, but the movie just lacks a little bit. Like it's
Really?
you know, I like it. I don't enjoy it. I like it and I watch it and I laugh, but it's still like, come on, Tim Allen's The Santa Claus beats this by a freaking mile.
I don't know. I don't
I
know
do.
if I agree.
All right, but that's weird because you got a Christmas movie on your top 5 of all time. That's weird to me.
Because I could watch, because I watch Elf like even in the middle of the year when it's not Christmas time.
Oh God, that would irritate me. Like
It
not
just makes me happy.
no, I understand. Whatever makes you happy, I understand. I understand. I'm just gonna
Whatever
leave
makes
it
you
there.
happy.
Whatever makes you
You're
happy.
crazy.
My next one is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Have you ever watched that? You ever heard of it?
No.
All right. Well, it's Jim Carrey, and it's one of Jim
Okay.
Carrey's first serious roles. And it has who's the chick that played in Titanic? Wouldn't move over for Kate Winslet.
Okay. Yeah.
Kate Winslet. Him and her have this romance going on, and then you're kind of confused the whole time until the very end of it. And what it's about is Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet are together. They wind up breaking up, and they can't forget about each other. They're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sad." Like a breakup usually does. He finally sees Kate Winslet, and she's like, "I don't know who you are. Please leave me alone." And he's like, "What is this?" So what she did was she went to the specialist and got her mind zapped, got him out of her mind. And he was like, "Okay, I have to do the same thing." Somebody came to him and was like, "You got to do the same thing." He did the same thing, but as he's recalling the memories and they're changing it as the movie goes, he's like, "No, I love her." So he's trying to go back in his memories and find her and trying to take her out of the memories to remain in the memories. Like I know it's weird, but
No. Wow.
a lot of people call it stupid. Like if I enjoy a movie, I'm close with my family, so I'm like, "Hey, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna watch this movie." I watched it, it's fantastic. Can you believe they all fell asleep in a Jim Carrey movie? And I was bawling like a
Really?
baby. I'm bawling like a baby. And it's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
But it's not, like you said, it's not everybody's cup of tea. So
Right. Yeah. Even like so like, I've been thinking in the last couple of minutes, like what my number 5 will be. Because are we on number 5?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know. So I'm just gonna say a couple that I think could all tie for me.
I'm gonna do the same thing because I'm sitting here thinking of writing down as well. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah. So the Hunger Games series, I think they did such a good job with the movie. Like the Hunger Games, like the costume changes, just everything. Like Jennifer Lawrence is absolutely insane. I am obsessed with her. I love her.
I only watched that movie.
Great.
I've only seen the first one. I remember we had to read the whole entire book series in high school. And I've only seen the first one. I think I've only seen the first one. I don't think I've seen the other ones.
You have to watch the other ones.
Well, then I'm going to have to rewatch the first one because I don't remember what happens.
Okay, well then you're good. Well, that's a good thing.
All right.
That sounds like a great day to me.
Okay.
They're just so good, and I feel like I can just watch them.
But aren't they like 4 hours a piece?
No.
They're long. They're like 2.5 hours.
Are they? I don't really know. I don't remember, but I have all of them on DVD, so I'll like watch them from
Okay.
time to time because they're just good. Like they just are
Mhm.
really well done and very entertaining, and I thought they were really well done. Um, Another one for me would be Interstellar.
Oh
I'm like a science
man.
nerd and I love space and all of that. I mean, I'm not like a super space nerd, but I just thought that that movie was really well done
Yep.
too.
Yep.
That's Matthew McConaughey, right?
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, and wow, I could watch that every
That
day. I think it's
that
so
movie,
fascinating.
Interstellar, was effing fascinating. Like,
Fascinating.
because I don't know a lot about space. I try to learn it,
Yeah.
but then I kind of go to sleep because it's just, and but it was cool to see. But by the way, this movie's like 3.5 hours for people that want to watch it. It's
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 the longest
it's
movie
ridiculously
ever.
long, and it doesn't have to be. Like, it does not have. You can do it in an hour and 45, but
Yeah.
and it's cool because he leaves to destroy whatever he's going to destroy in space. Goes in this time loop, and it's only 20 minutes for them, and it's like 20 years in real life. And he gets home,
Right.
and his daughter is like elderly and is dying, and he's like 40. And I'm like, this. I don't know if it's true, if the space is really like that, but if so, that's fascinating.
Yeah, and just how he's communicating with his daughter.
Man,
Like, do you
yeah,
remember that in like the
yeah.
books and stuff? And like he was giving her a code or something.
hmm And she knew it.
It just
Yeah,
and she knew because
she knew. Yeah.
she like grew up to have the same job that her dad did at the
hmm
when he was in space and she was still on Earth and like doing like the same job that he did at wherever they worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like insane.
Hmm. Okay, name off a couple more because I'm sitting here thinking. I'm like,
Okay. Um. mm,
I've got one. I've got one.
okay, okay.
Even though the third movie, in my opinion, is the best, I'm still gonna put Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of Black Pearl, the first one. Pirates fascinate me for some reason. Those movies are fantastically done, I think. But
I love that.
I do think At World's End is the better one, but the first one, Curse of the Black Pearl, is just a classic. I mean, Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom. What can he ask for? It's great.
What's better? Yeah, I love that. Oh, I was also gonna say I love for some reason I hated Deadpool 1, but Deadpool 2, I cried
No, no, no,
laughing.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. You need to go back and rewatch it. First, the second one is stupid. The second one was
What?
terrible. The second one
The
was
second one
terrible.
the second one I literally was crying. I was like gut laughing. Like my
Oh
abs
man.
hurt because I was laughing so hard.
All
I
right.
love
All right.
Ryan Reynolds is so funny.
Uh, sure. Okay. I didn't enjoy the second one. I remember sitting in the theater and going, and that's how I
Really?
know a movie's bad. Like, it was just the comedy wasn't there for me. The storyline was dumb, was boring. But it is what it is.
Did you
They're
like
making
the
it.
first one?
I love the first one. The first one's a classic for me. The first one was
Really? I didn't
fantastic.
like the first one.
First one was fantastic. Fantastic. I just rewatched it a
Ugh,
couple of days ago, and I laughed the whole way through.
maybe I'm gonna have to go rewatch the first one, but I've seen the first one and I did not like it. I was not very impressed because I love Ryan Reynolds. I think he's so
Mhm.
funny. He just is so funny.
And he's a good-looking dude. Let's not lie.
Oh my.
And he's a good-looking dude. Let's not lie. Okay.
Ooh, yep.
Um. All right. Was that yours, Deadpool 2? Or was that
Sure.
just? Oh, you can go another one if you want to. I didn't know.
Well, that's like I think that's what the one that I was like thinking about after Interstellar and The Hunger Games that I couldn't think of.
All right. I have many written down here because I love movies. If you can't tell, I do movie reviews for God's sakes. Um,
Right.
I'm gonna put Her on there. Have you ever saw Her? Joaquin
I'm trying to think.
Phoenix. He falls in love with Siri.
I don't think I have seen that
Okay.
one. No.
Well, the reason I love it is because he's a lonely guy, can't find love, has bad luck, and he falls in love with his phone. I just think that's a cool concept.
What?
And then, of course,
Really?
my biggest crush, Scarlett Johansson, is the voice of Siri. So, I mean, come on.
So we love that.
What'd you say?
I said, so we love that.
So we love it. Yeah. Oh God. If they would come out with, you could have any celebrity voice your phone, I would probably have. Oh man, Kevin Hart, just because he makes me laugh. Everything he says.
Oh, funny.
Scarlett Johansson, obviously, and probably like Robert Downey Jr. or something like that. Something cool. Or Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, yeah. Or Matthew McConaughey. Or Ryan Reynolds, just like all of his like humor that he has. His like smart ass remarks.
I ran into Ryan Reynolds one time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like physically?
Physically.
Was he nice?
Well, anyways, let's go back to the movie things here. Yeah, sure. So, where was I at? I'm not sure where I was at, but I was walking, and I was walking towards the exit. And in the entranceway comes this guy. And I said, I have seen that guy before. It just didn't pop in my head that that's who it was.
Right.
And I said, I've seen that guy somewhere. And I've never been to this place before. It was like a different state, whatever. Okay. I was like, who is this guy? I'm having freaking deja vu or something.
Yeah.
And then people go, I heard a girl scream. And they're like, what's happening here? And they're taking pictures. And I'm like, who is this guy? And then I look, and then I guess because I just walked past so quickly, I didn't realize who it was. And then when I went back, I was like, I'm going to figure out who this guy is. And I said, holy shit, that is Ryan Reynolds. And I remember I went up to him. I didn't take a picture. I was so scared. I was so nervous because I was like, this is Deadpool. This is freaking Ryan Reynolds. So I went to him. I was like, look, man, I just want to let you know I'm a fan. And I shook his hand. He goes, well, everyone's a fan of me. They're so nice out here. By the way, I'm not a fan of you at all. And just starts to laugh like the Ryan Reynolds humor. And then he just goes, nah, man, that's cool. Appreciate it. And then that was it. And then I left.
Oh my gosh.
It was.
I don't even know what to think about that.
I know. I was like, was he being
a strange encounter?
Was he being an asshole or was he just joking? Because
was he being funny?
Because his humor is like mine, just sarcastic. You know what I mean? Like
sarcastic. Yeah.
I try to be not sarcastic on here because on podcasts just because people don't know of how I'm coming off. But like,
right.
I feel we're sort of friends through the podcast realm like this, and so you kind of can figure out my humor. You know, just how we've talked. Right. I had so much hate on your podcast, on your episode that came out because, and I'll tell you, it was something I said. You were talking about your dad and about how they were worried about how you were going to get a job, et cetera, et cetera. And I had slightly made a joke. I don't even know if you heard me. And I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm just going to go out here and prostitute. It was just a sly joke. And I got, oh my goodness, I was getting hit with emails, hate emails.
Really?
And I'm like, hey, it's a joke. I'm joking. She obviously didn't get pissed. It's a joke.
I don't even know that I heard that.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh man, it's a joke. Calm down. Yeah. It's nuts.
Oh. It's okay, everyone.
It's cool.
Like
she's not a prostitute. She's not a prostitute.
I'm not a prostitute.
I wouldn't have her on here because it's illegal.
I'm a waitress. Come to Uncle Julio's, y'all.
At a stripper waitress. She's a stripper waitress that comes in, gives you your chicken wings, and ask if And she asked, "Do you want breasts with that?" And if you say yes, then you get a surprise.
Oh my gosh. You're going to get hate on this one now,
I
too.
don't care. But you know I'm joking, though. I don't care.
No, I know.
I don't care. All right. Give me one or two more, and then we'll turn the tides here.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I really love comedy, but I feel like comedy's kind of like taken a downhill turn in the last couple years. Do you feel that too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
because I try
just
to
feel
watch it because I'm with you. I try to watch comedy, and it throws me off. Like horror films just aren't horror anymore. I think they're stupid nowadays, but comedy is getting that, and it irritates me because they're trying to relive
that.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like I've been so excited to go see like a new comedy in theaters or whatever, like before COVID, obviously. Mm-hmm. And there's just been like, I just feel like I don't really remember any being really good. I might say this title wrong. I don't know, but it's a movie that came out earlier this year. I did not see it in theaters. I ended up renting it because it was like March and everything was shut down, so movie theaters weren't open anymore. But a few of my friends had gone and seen, is it the 1975? Is that what it was called? Do you remember?
1917,
it's like a
the war movie? 1917.
1917, that's what it was.
I haven't seen it. Is it any good?
Mm-mm. Did you see it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you didn't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, it's so good. I'm not usually into war movies. Like, I'm not, American Sniper's like my number one movie, LOL.
But that's different. But that's different because war movies are kind of the same nowadays.
Yeah. The 1917, I keep saying it's just 1917. Whoa.
Okay.
It was so good. I watched it with my family one night, and it, like, everyone loved it. Everyone, like, this was a movie that everyone actually loved, because I feel like we rented a lot of movies during quarantine because my family's a movie family and we like to go out to movies, like to movie theaters.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah. So we would literally, like, one of the movie theaters near our house was like, they sold movie theater popcorn. So we like went and picked some movie theater popcorn up and like just watched movies one night. And this was one of them because a few of my friends had recommended it, and it was amazing. It's a war movie. Like, it's not, it's not happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but it's good. It's really good. I definitely recommend that you watch it because it's amazing. I thought that they did a great job with it.
You know, I don't really brag on here, but I love bragging about this part. For me, is because I do these movie reviews. Some people hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we want you to vote." Like, so like I'm now a voter for like all these different movies. And so I get all these movies for free. And so if you want new releases that aren't even out yet, hey, let me know which ones you want. I'll send them to you.
Oh my gosh.
But
Thank you so much.
I saw the new, and you're gonna think I'm nuts. But this is not on my top 5, but just I watched the new SpongeBob movie before it came out. Like, it's not even out yet, and I just watched it. So I thought that was pretty cool. But on my list here, I'm thinking, do I go nerd or do I stay straight? Like, do I go nerdy on it or not?
Can you do both?
I guess so. But what nerd do I go? Do I go Planet of the Apes? Do I go Transformers? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Whichever one feels most authentic to you.
Jurassic Park? You know what? I'm going to go John Wick.
Okay.
I'm going to go John Wick. You ever watch that?
Nope.
You like Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, John Wick is a shoot 'em up.
Oh.
It's a shoot 'em up action movie. Like, if you don't like movies where there's a lot of talking, these are the movies that you would like. Like this, there's like little dialogue, and the rest is just jump. Okay, so what it
like
is,
action.
I'm trying to be real quick here because I don't know how much time you have, but what the background of the movie is John Wick loses his wife to cancer, and this is not a giveaway. So loses his wife to cancer, right? Keanu Reeves plays John Wick. He is an ex hitman. Like he's like an ex hitman. And his wife gets him a Christmas present, and he gets it after she dies, and it winds up being a puppy. And someone breaks into his house, beats him up, kills his puppy, lays it in front of him, and takes his car, blows his house up. So the whole entire movie is John Wick getting payback because someone killed his effing puppy. And it leads into this giant, he gets in trouble. People are looking for him. And like 2 and 3 are continuations of the first one.
Who would kill a puppy?
Terrible people. Terrible people. And
I struggle with
you actually like see it happen. And that's the bad thing. You actually see them kill the dog, and I'm like, the people that made John Wick made Deadpool 1 and 2.
I don't know that I could come back from that. I can't even handle seeing like the freaking like commercials about animals in the animal shelter.
You're talking about the Sarah McLachlan?
Yes.
Do you know that song's is not about that? That song she wrote it about one of her band members that was dying over a drug overdose.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, I figured it probably wasn't about animals, but it works.
Yep. It works.
And it makes you sad.
It does.
It makes me almost like call the number every time, and then I'm like, do I have time for a dog? No. Do I want a dog? Yes. Yes, I do.
You have time. Anybody that wants to do something can make time.
You're so right. I keep telling my mom that. She's like, Brooke, you don't have time for a dog. And I was like, Mom, I just think that this would be a good life choice for me right now. She's like, Brooke, I don't know. Wait, I have another one that I forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
Popular, unpopular opinion. Fast and Furious movies. I love them all.
Oh, man.
I love them.
Absolutely. Whoa. Well, hang on a second. I love all the Fast and Furious except for Tokyo Drift.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
That was a complete waste of my time. I was like, what the fuck am I watching this for? This is stupid.
Yeah, I don't love that one. All the rest, though, I feel like are great.
But I think they should have stopped at 7 when Paul Walker died. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Because now they're going to space.
What?
They're going to space in the new Fast and Furious.
They're making another one? How did I not know about that?
Have you seen the trailer for it?
No. I didn't even know that they were making another one. I thought that they were done.
It was already coming out this summer, and they pushed it back a year because of COVID. It's been out for probably a year, the trailer.
Oh my gosh, do I live under a rock? What is wrong with me?
Watch it right now.
Okay, I need to go.
Watch it right now.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, let's
what do you think of it?
Let's sync up together. I'll watch it as well, like you are, and then we'll get our reaction. I think it's Fast and Furious
9.
Yeah, Fast and Furious 9. It's been out for 10 months.
I live under a rock. What is wrong with me?
Well, I got to get past these ads first.
I know. I was just going to say that.
All right. I'm here. I got it paused. Let me know when you got it going, and we'll watch it together.
Okay. It's going.
All right.
Okay. Oh my gosh, his muscles. Little baby. That's so sweet. That makes my heart happy. Oh, they're sweet family. Oh. Oh. I don't know if I watched the right thing.
What?
I don't know if I watched the right thing. I don't think I did.
Just type in Fast and Furious 9 on YouTube, and it's the first thing that pops up.
Okay.
Restart it. And I'm going to sync up the audio on my end for this so you guys can hear the trailer too.
Oh, yep. This is different.
Yeah, it's the first. Just type in Fast and Furious 9 on YouTube, it'll be the first thing that pops up.
I got it, I think.
Okay.
But I love this kid. Little Brian. Oh.
You're going to have a shock at the very end, and you're going to cry. I guarantee you. From excitement.
Oh, okay. They are so badass. I just love them. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I shouldn't have swore. I'm so sorry.
You can say whatever you want.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. I don't like her. Oh.
No, that's not impressive.
Oh my gosh, I love him. Oh. Oh boy. Little brother.
This is my world.
Oh. No way.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Don't click off.
Nice clubhouse.
Oh my gosh!
Yep.
Oh,
I'm telling
my
you, man,
God.
this may be the best Fast and Furious movie. I mean, it looks fantastic.
Oh wow, I'm excited.
Plus,
I just love how their like thing is like family and how they just all love each other and all have each other's backs. Like I love that.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be. I'm hoping the trailer doesn't look better than the movie. I'm hoping.
Honestly, almost every single one of the Fast and Furious movies are so good. So like,
Mm,
I don't know. I don't think we'll be disappointed.
I hope not. Well, look, we've watched the Fast and Furious trailer. We've talked to 5 albums of the year. We talked to 5 songs of the year. Brooke, appreciate you coming on. I really do.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Hey, look, send me over your list because my mixer's my mixer's not working, or I would put the songs in
Great.
as we talked about it, and I just have to edit them in.
Yeah.
But
Great.
yeah, we've talked almost 2.5 hours again.
Again.
Hopefully
Great.
hopefully we'll do this again sometime next year.
Heck yeah. I would love that.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good one. I'll go ahead and let you go. Go
Sounds good. Have
go
a good
strip
day.
weight. Go strip weight. How about that?
Yeah, no. I mean, I do work tonight, but
I
I will just be serving chips and salsa and margaritas,
Okay.
y'all.
All right. All right, have a good one. I appreciate you.
You too. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.